This right here is my little barbershop in Park Slope. Been coming here for about 5 years, on and off. About to give this owner a hard time because we were trying to buy a house a couple months ago. Let's see, let's go bust his balls. Yo, today is June 10th. It is 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm in Park Slope, one of my favorite areas in all of Brooklyn. It's probably Park Slope, Greenpoint, and Red Hook. Those are my three favorites for the most part. And ironically, two of them are pretty isolated, Greenpoint and Red Hook. But anyways, one thing I do every week, sounds crazy, but it's probably the Brooklyn in me, is, as you can see, I need a haircut. Every week I get a haircut, probably spend $150 a month. I get one every week. They range from $25 to $35. And yeah, I do that. That's one of the things. If I'm going to keep this, I maintain this. But you probably check out some of Park Slope with me. I might visit my comic book store. Might see some friends. Hopefully they're available. Might see an old landlord that I work with. Haven't seen him since pre-COVID, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple of things, walk around a little bit, and we'll go from there. So enjoy. So this building right here is the YMCA of Park Slope. And as I was walking down here, I got approached by a security man who put his hands on me and we almost got into a fight. Long story short, as I was arguing with the gentleman, tall guy comes out of this door and fucking tells his security guard to relax. I proceed to curse them out. And once I got to this CVS right here to buy a Red Bull, I got congratulated by Con Edison guys, because unfortunately I was cursing out the mayor and his security guards for putting their hands on me. Now that's a wicked story. So this is Park Slope, as you can see. So yeah, that took place about 4 years ago, and the very next day there was a snowstorm, and I get text messages when I wake up like, hey, you're on the front cover of the paper. It turns out there was paparazzi watching this whole fiasco take place. And I turned out I was on the Post and the Daily News for a couple of weeks straight. And it was quite an alarming story. So anything is possible in Brooklyn. Yo. So it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I got me the last edition of The Last Ronin. I'm a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. Whenever I'm in the neighborhood, anywhere that I'm familiar with, I like to take advantage of small businesses. I'm definitely a supporter. I'm a small business owner myself on the side, as you know. Big boy right there. But so funny, as I was walking through the neighborhood, I text one of my old gym buddies, and we're gonna probably work out on Wednesday. The buyer for Gowanus also lives in the neighborhood. I text him, and as I'm waiting for his reply, I run into my old broker. So we start connecting again, and we were talking about the Gowanus deal, because that's our last deal together. Still haven't officially closed on it. And then the buyer texts me that we should close sometime next week. So that's awesome. You know, a lot could happen in a small period of time, so it's always important to appreciate every moment you have, you know. And I don't know, the sun's out, the vibes are great. I feel like $1 million, got a fade, I'm a little sweaty. Don't judge me, please. Look at that. Always come prepared with paper towels. But for what can be a lackluster day in real estate where you really don't have craziness planned, this weekend and next week is already booked for me, just like that. So in a matter of 2 hours, I'm booked. So that's a good problem to have. And yeah. And one last thing for today's updates, my Dyker Heights house, which I'm having an open house for on Sunday from 1 to 3. We actually lowered the price from 2.1 million to 1.9. So we're finally in the price bracket we need to be. I think we're still on the aggressive side, but you can only hope for the best. You know, even if someone throws us a strong offer, we're going to entertain it. You know, in real estate, if the offer is formal, which means written down in detail, a formal offer will always be entertained and presented to the seller. So I'm okay with that, as long as the world is okay with that. So in the meantime, as you see, I'm putting stuff away. Wait for some more updates for this open house. Talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.
The next day.
Yo, I'm in Dyker Heights, about to show my house again to a repeat client. I got my frames on so I look smart. I also look like Clark Kent. So you know what? It's time to act like Superman today. Wish me good luck. Otherwise, tomorrow open house. Look at that. Tomorrow open house. Be there, be square. 1 to 3 p.m. Sunday. Let's go. So, quick question. How do they look? No, but real talk. Okay, so welcome to the real estate world. What's great is I had a repeat client with an agent. So it technically could go into a co-broke if we get a deal approved between both sides. What's unique is the clients arrived first before their agent. And there was a clear language barrier. I obviously spoke English, they did not. Regardless of what language they spoke, that's oblivious. We were clear on both sides that they did not understand English. So the real estate agent, you have to be ready for that, especially in the city, where we're completely diverse. And honestly, that's what makes New York City, New York City. So luckily, I had my Google Translate ready. Not for them, I actually translate a lot of Spanish to my cousins in South America when I chat with them. So I had the app open and I just changed it to the appropriate language. And I called the agent and I said, listen, your clients are here. Do you want me to start with or without you? They had told me, you can start it, no worries. I said, okay, great. So I got my Google Translate, started typing away. They read it. They actually find it kind of amusing that I had to use technology. And that's a great thing to build rapport with the other agent, because I'm showing them I'm willing to work with them. And that's key in real estate, that you're willing to work with anybody, regardless of circumstance. And be proactive. You know, that's the key to the game. So they walked around the house. Once the agent did arrive, I said less, and I pointed and gave the agent information that I thought was important to point out to them. And whether they cared for it or not, you know, appliances stay upstairs, has a washer and dryer all in one. It's not just one machine. There's no laundromat or anything. Things like that matter. So she helped me out. I helped her out. And let's see what happens.
The next day.
Yo, so today is June 12th. I'm in the house, hence the echo. And it's actually nice weather outside. It's pretty humid, just to give you an update. So I'm a meteorologist on the low. It's about 70 degrees, humid. It was raining earlier today, but my shirt's wrinkly. The humidity will do that to the shirt, but I'm doing a little Clark Kent look today. Yesterday's showing went really well. Hopefully I get some feedback. What else can I tell you? We dropped the price. We got more traction on the internet. I don't think this open house today will be super duper, but I think next week's will. I have some strategies in mind now that we dropped the price. And what's great about open houses, even though you're by yourself most of the time, unless it's a booming house price, you get time to strategize and really fine tune what you're doing here. Plus, what's great about this is the neighbors get to see me a lot. And they can put 1 + 1 = 2, in essence, that I'm the agent for this house. So if I sell it, I get to talk to them and they will generously want to offer their house with the idea of selling it soon, which is great. And I'm trying to think about my words because none of this is scripted. But yesterday when I left the open house, the two neighbors on behind this wall were asking me about how the open house is going, and I was pretty transparent. I don't lie, I don't sugarcoat things, and kind of what you see is what you get with me. I don't do those $1 million listing shows where I gotta, dance and karate kick. That's just silly. That's not who I am. If we have a connection, we got a vibe, then we're just gonna do well together. And being that New York City is so diverse, the neighbors are so diverse, I was able to connect with both of them, both owners. And, if I can sell this house anywhere between, let's say 1.7 or 1.7 million to 1.9 million, those two houses' values go up automatically. And that's what's great, because if they see that I'm able to do that here, they're going to want to sell, and they've seen me come here and be very consistent with my actions. So they already have a trust with me. Plus, they know this owner for about 10 years, which is great. Double the time that I've known them. So if I get their business, it helps the neighborhood, it helps the owner, and it helps me financially. Real estate is a tough business. It took me 5 years, 6 years to get to where this point is, where I can say I can live a little healthier than normal, and real estate is not all glorious. There's a lot more downs than there are ups until you have that referral business. New York State and the city in particular have passed a few laws for real estate agents that kind of work against us, but I honestly think it's in a good way. We're no longer really able to send mail door knockers, or door knockers, what they call them, which I honestly thought were annoying. You buy a house or you just started renting and all of a sudden you're getting all these real estate, sell your house. I hate those things. Such a waste of money. I can't imagine a real estate's conversion rate so high compared to the dollars they spend on it. But the state has asked agents and brokerages to stop doing that. Also, cold calling. I hate cold calling. I think it's annoying. I would hate to be called randomly by a stranger saying, I want to sell your house. Especially when the agent has done no information gathering on your property. How long ago you bought it? Are you even willing to sell? How did I get your number? And owner's information is always public. It's in the city database. Anybody who knows where to search can find it. It's pretty simple, especially with Google out there and stuff like that. But as a homeowner, you don't want random people calling you. So door knockers and cold calling, they've kind of X'd out. The only way you can communicate with these people that are considered strangers is if you've had some sort of dialogue with them in the past or in the present or at some time in a recent moment. And that's why networking with your neighbors, saying hello, being what I call a mayor of the neighborhood is important. Because Gowanus, they've seen my beard grow. Like when they see me, like, oh my God, your beard's so big. It's funny, but I stand out. This is why I love it. It's an indicator that I'm in the neighborhood. Aside of me being fairly tall and being me, my neighbors know who I am because they see the beard from a distance. Like they'll wave, and then we engage in conversation. And literally 98% of the time that I'm talking to a homeowner, I almost never talk about real estate, unless they ask me about how my business is doing. Because what ultimately happens is they will then reach out to me and then inquire about selling their house. And this year has been that roller coaster ride where a lot more friends and family and neighbors have reached out to me. And I think that's awesome. It's humbling. I'm not a kid that grew up in wealth. My family wasn't fortunate enough to have all these luxuries in life. And, anyone who's known me for years, I never wore the coolest brands. I never wore the most fashionable things. And I think being raised that way has kept me on an even keel in essence. And this shirt, it's like a sporting goods shirt. These jeans are no brands. My sneakers obviously are expensive, but that was the one luxury. I have 3 good pairs of sneakers. The rest I just wear for the gym. So keeping a humble mind when dealing with large amounts of money builds a great rapport for me with neighbors. They seem to trust me more. Some even trust me with their kids. I'll go play basketball with them down the block, which happened yesterday. It was ironic. They seem to build trust with me, and it's just because I'm being me. And as a young real estate agent in the game, any real estate agent that's been doing this for less than 10 years, to me, is still new in the game. And that's important, because when you're born, the first 10 years of your life are probably the most critical. You go from learning how to breathe, basically, to learning the alphabet and learning how to write your name. In 10 years, you make friends, you socialize. That's a big window. So in real estate, you're always learning, but those first 10 years where you're gonna learn the bulk of it. So when I'm in these neighborhoods for now 6 years and they're seeing my face, they've seen me grow, they see my beard grow, they've seen my style grow. When their life is growing, they seem to trust me. So I get very humbled by that, because again, a Brooklyn kid with his back always against the wall growing up, here I am. You don't need a college education for this. You just need common sense, and you want to always do the right thing. And that's what's important. And I don't know why I'm sharing all this information, but the same reason I started the vlog is the same reason why I do this, because I'm just trying to share my knowledge with people. There is a glorified part of it when you get that big paycheck, and it's probably the biggest one you see till the next one. Those gaps in between could be very, very crucial. So when you make that money, it's not about just spending it all. There's responsibility behind it. With great money comes great responsibility. Take that from Uncle Ben and just make it a real estate term. If you like Spider-Man, you'll understand that. But in the meantime, I had this moment between a client to share that information. Like, if you're in real estate, or you're having a tough time, or you don't know what you're doing in your career and you want to try to pursue real estate, at least in this city, I don't know how it is in other states. I never went on a team. I'm not that agent. I like to do things for myself. I believe in myself. If I fail, I fail for myself, and I learn. If I succeed, I succeed for myself, because I know I did it. If you want to go into a team, absolutely great. There's pros and cons to it, just like there's pros and cons to going by yourself. But I think my personality best fit me to go at my own speed, and be selfish in my mannerisms, because if I'm on a team, I have to be groomed their way. I don't want to be groomed unless I'm grooming myself. And I think that's what's important. Once you find your identity in life and you can leverage it in a positive way, that's what's important. And that's about it. Real estate, like I said, I'm making these videos and you're probably thinking, oh, wow, it's so easy. It's really not. Some days you're doing a lot more physical work than administrative work. Then when you're starting a deal and closing a deal, the paperwork is important. The state and the city review these types of things in the long run. You get audited and stuff like that. So there's a balance scale, and your job is to keep it balanced, keep it positive, and keep doing the right thing. And next thing you know, you're changing neighborhoods. You're changing neighborhoods, ownerships, families, legacies. And a house purchase and a house sale is a legacy move. Remember that, a legacy move. When you buy a house, that's a legacy move. You're creating a legacy for the next 30 years, at least, and that's crazy. That's a crazy mindset. And in this city, in 30 years, a skyscraper can go up and then it could be gone. It's nuts. So just imagine other cities, how that looks. Outside of that, I really hope some of you guys who watch this, all 10 of you who watch this video, I really hope you enjoy it. Kind of gives you a snapshot of my weeks. I mean, I'm in my 6th month of the year. I'm doing about a video a month. So, and if you're wondering why I'm looking that way a lot, it's because that's the main window. So I want to make sure I can see people if they come up the door. So I got to stop the video. It gets crazy. But it's always. But yeah, I mean, I hope again you enjoy these videos. Like, subscribe, do that thing down there. I'm gonna point. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep pumping out videos so you can kind of see my journey. It's not easy. It's not always positive. I do my best to keep a smile on my face, but luckily I have my mental health, my physical health, and my family, my dog and my mother. That's all I need. And we'll keep going from there. Keep pushing, keep trucking. All right? I'm gonna talk to you in a bit. Hey, I'm back. It is 3:30. My open house was from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And that time frame was chosen for a reason. Most agents will typically do 11 to 1, 12 to 2, and so forth. 2-hour intervals usually, maybe an hour and a half, depending on demand, location, pricing, all that. I chose a 1 to 3 on a Sunday simply because I wanted to be on the tail end of everybody else's open houses. Because in retail, usually the most memorable experience for a client when shopping is the cashier, which is usually the last part of the shopping experience. So I translate that into real estate and say, okay, I want to be on the tail end because I only have one house to show right now. If I had multiple houses, the strategy would be different. But today, because we had already dropped the price about 3 to 4 days ago, I actually got some traction. So around 2:30, I got a walk up, and it was with an agent, so it was a possible co-broke. It went very well. I will reach out to them later and say, hey, thanks for passing by. Let me know if your clients had any feedback. And because normally I would request an appointment because of COVID and everything else, this time around, you don't have to do that. So they would just showed up, which is awesome. So 2:30, then at 2:59, as I'm pulling my open house lines from the street, a car randomly pulls up and a woman comes down, is like waving me down. It's like, no, can we see? I was like, absolutely. Millions of dollars are at stake. So at no point will I say no, unless I had a drastic emergency to attend to, because family's always first. This was the priority. I said, absolutely. They weren't represented by an agent. They were just basically driving around. They saw it and they made it the point to come here last because of my time frame. So it proved to be worthy. Obviously, agents stay in these houses by themselves sometimes for hours throughout a day. And that's why I calculated to put my open house. So right now, in a matter of 2 days, I got 3 visits. And honestly, I might get 1 to 2 offers, which is awesome. So, fingers crossed. It's all a process. Trust the process. And let's see how we do now. Talk to you soon. Later.
A few moments later.
Yo, today is June 14th, which is a Tuesday. And don't mind me looking around. I'm actually turning on the lights for the Dyker Heights house. So, an agent I spoke about who was a repeat visitor with her client wants to see it for the 3rd time with the entire family. So, because I'm awesome, and like I said, with the new price drop, I want to move this as fast as I can for both my client and the net new buyer who wants to probably move in here before the end of the summer. I've shown them the house. The only thing is the tenant upstairs, I didn't give a 24-hour heads up. That sucks, but he said that if he's home by the time we do the showing, which is in about 45 minutes, he'd be glad to show it. So luckily, having good cooperation with tenants in the current house that you're selling doesn't hurt. So fingers crossed that he's here when that happens so the family can see the whole house, because we are making a multi-million-dollar decision and we want to make sure I don't fall down these steps. So bear with me. All right, here I am. So that's what I got for you. I'll give you one more update before the night's over, and then anything that happens after this appointment, maybe a offer. O-F-F-E-R. That's how you spell it. If we get one of those, you won't know until the next episode.